Alright, today's another day. We're going to attempt to start this engine with the starter instead of manual hand cranking. Well, turn it over. Last night we tested for compression. There wasn't any compression, and we're hoping to build up some compression in the motor by turning it over with the starter. We also did take the starter out today and tested it, and it seemed okay. Oh. Yeah. So anyway, now we gotta test for compression, see if anything built up. Like I said, we took the starter out, tested it, and it seemed okay, and we put it back in, and apparently it works. We actually tried running some power to the starter before without the other car, and apparently we found out that
Okay. What's all we get on that one? What's that, 50?
Okay, so there's compression buildup there.
45. Not a lot. Oh, well, let's open up the... Get something in there.
Yeah, so the other day we were trying to use a battery charger as a source of power for the starter, and apparently that wasn't enough, and we had to use the other car and some jumper cables to send enough in order to get enough power to the starter. And as you just saw, the starter clearly works. We got to turn over. We got a little bit of compression going on.
Be a butthead now.
Gotta reposition the compression tester. It's being weird.
Well, it's getting 50. Doesn't seem like it's turning over very fast. Which, that cable is kind of crappy.
Yeah, we got a poor positive terminal cable, and this cable runs directly to starter, and just, you know, sorry, it looks like it's been chewed through already and stuff, and we've taken the actual terminal off of it because it's so frayed and stuff.
Well, not much better.
Oh, still same.
50.
Yeah, so nothing different. Now we're testing compression on the number 3 spark plug hole. We're gonna see how that
Can you see that okay?
works.
You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is number 3, right? Oh, that's better. Woo! See the smoke? Something's
I
getting
didn't
hot
see
over
it.
here. It's not really, though.
Yeah, actually proper label cylinder number 3.
But there you go. We got 75 without putting any oil in it.
So we've tested cylinder number 1. We've tested cylinder number 3. Now we got 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so we finished the compression testing. Most of the cylinders came up with 50 or 60 There was one that came up to 80, but I mean, all those, you know, there's low compressions, but I mean, they're compressions that look good enough for this engine to run, you know. And of course, you know, anyway, it's gonna run. It's just gonna be on low compressions because it needs a whole new rebuild. This whole car has to be stripped and redone, or we might just yet again still undecided on whether it's just gonna be a flip or a full out project. But anyway, so compression testing is done, and we've gotten some compression, and a few things that I forgot to mention that this car has, well, a few features I guess I forgot to mention, was that it has factory AC and power steering. Now obviously, well, not really obviously, but this is the compressor, and you can see there's a bunch of fat AC lines here and there, and there's also a condenser and a receiver dryer over here. If you look inside the car, you can clearly see that there's AC vents right there and right over there. Probably saw that earlier. And then the power steering is a mess. You can see there's a power steering pump here. There's a few lines. There's this line which apparently is cut, and it's not really fully attached to the power steering pump. And then there's this line. It's kind of really stiff, not really good. But there's a piece missing on the steering column that both of these lines are supposed to be connected to. And since that's missing, those lines aren't going to connect, and also that other line is friggin' butchered. So pretty much we don't have power steering, not until we redo everything in the engine bay and the whole car. But that's pretty much it for everything. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video now. Basically 2 days I covered, well, a whole weekend. The first weekend of this project I covered in this video, and I'll be doing another weekend covering, well, just another video covering the second weekend with this project, and I'm just going to have it as a series and keep on going and see how this whole thing goes. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Okay, this is Nick, and I'm back with another wonderful video. And in this video, this is a second video of the Plymouth Fury series, and we're currently right now trying to see if we can get spark from the ignition coil that came with the car that was kind of just laying around. So we're testing for.
Oh, what was that? Turn the light out. Cause I'm looking right in here.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like spark. Yeah, it's arcing down onto the.
So we got sparks, but for some reason it's arcing right now.
Oh,
on something else.
The plug was off. Plug wire was off. So it's arcing onto me.
Oh. Well, I guess we figure out what it was.
Give me a light, give me a light.
Okay.
Yeah, right in here. Let's put that on better. Okay, well, I wanted it through here. Flip that around. Alright. I think it's turning over better since we put this new wire on. Get that correct. And where's the starter wire? I need a light down here. There it is. Alright, so now you should see it arc across the plug. There you go.
Yep.
See how that's good spark?
Now we're getting spark without an arc.
Yahoo!
Wonderful.
All right, that's good.
Alright, so real quick I'm going to show you guys the setup for our spark testing. And this is basically what we did. So of course we took a current coil and we patched together the negative cable that runs from the distributor and attached it to the negative terminal of the coil, the ignition coil. And then we had some wire bundle, you know, it wasn't like normal wire, it was more like 4 wires bundled together, and that's pretty much all we had. So we took that and we just used that as our positive cable, and we connected a positive terminal on the ignition coil, and we ran it to our positive terminal for the battery that runs the starter. And then we took the wire that goes from the coil to the distributor and we plugged one end of it into the coil, as it should go, but then we used the other end for a spark plug, and then we ran a negative cable from the spark plug to the negative terminal for the battery, and that's how we were able to test a spark, you know. So this is a little interesting setup. Some of you probably know it, some of you probably don't.